Hello, this is Jorge with Vistascapes once again, bringing you the most informative content for landscape owners. It's cold and windy as hell right now, as you can tell. Today, it's another top list video. This time will be the top 10 mistakes to avoid for new landscape owners. Cue the intro. We've already covered several topics in this channel, from landscape ideas, low maintenance, to a guide showing you the first step to make to improving your yard, and many more. So if you haven't checked that content, please check out the description down below or subscribe to the channel. In this particular video, we'll be covering the top mistakes that most landscaper owners make. Now, these are the type of mistakes that may end up costing you hundreds or even thousands of dollars on repairs or unnecessary expenses. And worst case scenario, they may end up ruining your entire yard. Woo! It's windy. But don't you worry, because here at Vistascapes we're here to save you money and save your yard. So let's go. Grass. First subject of this video will be grass, and we seriously need to have a conversation about grass. We know grass is the most popular land cover in all of landscape design, but you'll be surprised to know that grass is not the best option for most cases. First of all, grass is very high maintenance, and it needs to be constantly watered all throughout the week, all throughout the year, bringing you a really heavy water bill. Not to mention that all that extra water that you're spending would not only hurt your wallet, but it can also hurt your yard, and in most cases, it could even hurt you. Grass could potentially invite more weeds, fungi, or insects into your yard that are carrying diseases and infection. Plus, in places that it's really dry, places with lots of shadowy areas or small yards, grass will have a hard time surviving, so all that money you're putting into your grass may just end up going to waste. Again, we don't want to sound like we're grass haters, but we want to talk about the things that most people don't mention when it's time to install grass in your yard. We invited you to do your research first and check if your place specifically will be suited for grass. But in most cases, we would actually recommend other types of ground covers like rock, gravel, or even artificial grass. You still want to have the color and vibrancy of real grass. Soil. Next mistake a lot of people fall into is not checking their soil before they start building their landscape. Newly constructed houses would have paint, grout, concrete, adhesives, and other construction materials hidden in your soil. So yes, definitely not suited for planting anything, nor grass or plants. So the first thing to do would be to first clean up your place. Give it a good cleanup as best as you can, covering the bad soil with good soil, and after that, make sure to give it enough water. Anything that you plant on your bad soil is gonna kill it, so you gotta first give it that treatment before you start putting all that expensive plants. Trust me, we see that all the time. A lot of good plants go to waste just for bad soil. And if you wanna be extra sure that your soil is already ready and good for your planting, you should call the landscape professionals, like us here at Vistascapes. Drainage. Drainage is also a big subject that gets usually overlooked until it's too late. The threat of flooding is very real, even in a dry place like we are here right now. And flooding damage can potentially be very expensive, and possibly even ruin not just your yard, but even your house as well. First thing would be to make sure your yard is slightly sloped away from the house. Even the slightest slope would help, as long as you make sure your yard is not slipping towards the house. Once you get all that figured out, the next thing will be to install a way to drain all that water out. The common one will be to install a French drain. These are trenches containing gravel and rock that redirect the water away from the property. Catch basins, yard drains, there are many options. There are so many, in fact, that we could make a separate video just on that. So if you want that, make sure to comment down below if that's something you want to watch. Drainage is your friend, don't get it neglected. Get all that slipping away from the house, put a pipe down there, get a French drain, get it all out of there, get it all out. You don't want any puddles in your house, because puddles can bring any diseases, can bring infection, and it can even cause thousands of dollars in damages to your yard. You don't want any water just slipping there in your yard. Make sure you get that water in an efficient and clean way away from your house. Planting plants in the wrong place is in and of itself a big topic to cover, so let's get started. What do we mean with planting your plants in the wrong place? Plants require a certain type of soil, moisture, and light level. So before you plant them, you gotta make sure that your planting site has the requirements needed for that specific type of plant. If your planting site is very sunny and hot, your plant may die. Also, if the soil is very water and damp, that could also kill your plant. Most places that sell plants will have a tag right attached to their plant, kind of like this one that you can see right here. So make sure to read that tag and understand precisely what that specific plant needs. And if it doesn't come with a tag, just make sure to make your research before you buy that plant. Also, something that gets surprisingly overlooked is giving your plants enough space. It is very tentative for a lot of landscape owners to just simply put all their plants together in a clutter, because in a simple view it may look better, but you really want to give your plants space so their roots have enough, space to actually grow and develop. Also, plants that are really tight compacted together will end up competing for resources and water, so one plant may end up kill another one. So yeah, make sure to give them enough space for them to develop and grow, and for them to not compete for any water and resources. Your plants will thank you, your yard will thank you, and your wallet will thank you. Trees and bushes. Another subject to take seriously at the time of planting plants on your yard would be to know how big, tall, and how wide your trees and bushes would end up getting. So we got hundreds and hundreds of calls just for people telling us to remove their bushes or trees because they're either invading the neighbor's yard or even causing damage to their pipes or even their house. Make sure to plant these plants as far away from the house as you can, and make sure they're not going to intrude on the neighbor or anyone else, just to save you some future headaches. Trust me, coming from somebody that works at a landscape company, yes, it's going to eventually save you hundreds if not thousands of dollars just by planning well where your trees and bushes are going to get. Sounds like an obvious one, but you'll be surprised just how overlooked it can get. Accidentally planting invasive plants. Another thing that you got to be careful about is about invasive types of plants. What is an invasive plant? An invasive species are the types of plants that are not from the place that you are and that can potentially affect the ecosystem around them by constantly competing with other organisms for resources and altering ecosystems. Sadly, a lot of nurseries will still sell you an invasive types of plants without you knowing. So the thing that we recommend the most would be to start buying from local nurseries rather than the big companies, and also make your own research to understand which species qualify as an invasive plant for your area. Another topic would be neglecting your view. What do we mean when we talk about neglecting your view? We are talking about forgetting to design your landscape in a way that looks best from your house looking outwards, because at the end of the day that would be the way you'll be enjoying your yard the most. Make sure to design your outdoors keeping that in mind. Make sure that if you're gonna plant any tall plants to do it away from the windows, as that would end up blocking your view. And also make sure if you're planning to plant any plants, make sure to put the good face of your plant facing towards the house rather than away from the house or towards the street. Here at Businesscapes, we believe that if you're planting any colorful or any good looking plants, they should make you, the homeowner, happy first and bystanders second. Make sure to understand your window placement and start adding items of interest around those windows to make sure that your landscape looks beautiful, not just by standing on it, but also coming out from those windows. So yeah, don't neglect your view. Make sure it looks as good as possible. And yeah, if for some reason you're one of the unlucky landscape owners that already committed some of these mistakes, well, don't you worry. You're always in time to fix them. All you gotta do is look deep into your yard and look for any things that are either costing you money or will potentially cost you money, and we can get into them and fix them. It'll be easier to fix any problems when you first detect them rather than wait for the problem to just get bigger and more expensive. So yeah, call the number right here on the screen if you want any landscape services, and that'll make it for this video today. Thanks everybody to watch until the end. This may be a very long video, I don't know, still I haven't edited yet, but this may end up being one of the longest videos that we ever made. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks to all our loyal subscribers and loyal viewers. Thank you everybody. We're a small channel here at Businesscapes and every subscription counts. So yes, please subscribe if you like it, and we thank you. We thank everybody for watching. Happy holidays here from your friends at Businesscapes, and I am out because it's cold as hell in here. Bye.